Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Double Dribble Podcast. Hope my mic sounds crystal clear this week. But as always, I'm Desto.
And I'm Drew. And
Got Drew
it is a
again.
state. What's up?
No, I'm just want to see how you feel, Drew. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
We
no.
halfway
I'm
through.
gonna let you. I'm gonna let you get. Just open the show because
You're gonna let me open the
you
show.
know. I think we should start with it's a day of
Okay, well
mourning. So,
let me lay the scenery out. So last time we recorded, it was the start of the second round. We made our predictions. Um, and since then, the Knicks have swept the Sixers, which I think we all would agree that was like a surprise. 'Cause I think you had Philly. You said you weren't confident in that pick, but
yeah.
I assume you would have thought Philly would have got some games.
Yeah. A big
In that
part of that,
series.
though. I even said, as I made the prediction, I said, if Embiid's body can hold up, that is a big caveat. And watching as
That's the whole career. His whole career is that.
yeah, that's his whole career, his whole postseason career, especially. And watching the first game, what they did, we already went over the first game, but I still gave them a chance of winning a game after they went down 0-2. They didn't win a game. I thought maybe they might have a game where PG gets it going, maybe Maxi will get hot. Um, they made game three was pretty competitive, and then they lost it down the stretch without MB. That was probably their best performance. Was that one game that MB didn't play? And that goes to show you just how much he, has gotten worse as these games have gone by because he got injured again. Like he was playing through injuries against Boston. He got injured again. I think he injured his knee or his ankle. I can't remember which one it was. And he missed that game too. Came back, was clearly still, you know, hampered, hobbled, and basically a liability defensively and just a jump shooter offensively and not a particularly good one either. He wasn't even, honestly, if we're being honest, he wasn't really shooting the ball well against the Celtics. He just was, he had that one big monster game and then he was struggling a lot as far as, making jumpers and making shots, but he was able to punish them in the paint because they didn't really have anybody to throw at him. And that just isn't the case when it comes to the Knicks. The Knicks clearly have multiple big guys that they could throw at him. Even Cat is honestly somebody that has at least got, a little bit more weight to him. But they have, just more ways to take advantage of him because they have somebody they could attack him in pick and roll with ball screens. They have Jalen Brunson, who's really, really good, getting him into actions. So, I mean, that was always going to be a big X factor, really, even though he is their best player technically. It is an X factor when it comes to B because you just don't know which version he's going to be when it comes to his health and reliability. So yeah.
Yeah, I want to know where Philly goes from here because I mean I'm looking at like their contracts. Like, of course, you got Maxi, who's franchise cornerstone at this point. VJ, who's a rookie who came in playing, exceptionally well. He had some big moments in his playoffs.
Amazing.
But you got, yeah, but you got PG, who's going to be making like 50 something. PG is going to be like 38, I believe, by next season.
Wait,
I mean, you
he's
got.
really that old?
I'm pretty sure I was looking at it earlier by like the end of next season because I think he just made 37.
Damn,
Maybe
I
it's
didn't know he
either
was. I thought he
yeah
was younger than Harden.
he either just made 36 or 37, one of the two. But yeah, it's just I don't know. I feel like Philly, yeah, you beat Boston, but the window is if of the process is closing, and Embiid his like it's I mean, it's sad to say, but his injury concerns are only going to increase the older he gets. I remember like in the Celtics series, he was getting like stretched out on the sideline. He was limping several times throughout that game 7. So you just know his body wasn't gonna hold up in this next series, and a few of these games were actually kind of close. Like game two was pretty close without Embiid, and the Philly almost pulled it out, but the Knicks and Jalen Brunson he clutched up. Game three, Paul George started the game, amazing, wasn't missing a shot,
Then
and
second
then
half,
he couldn't make a shot the rest of the game, which is crazy. But and then game four, the Knicks just absolutely demolished him. But I don't want to. I want to get a Knicks State credit. I mean, like going into this season, and I think at the start of this playoffs, we talked about it. Like the pressure was on them. Like when Jason Tatum got hurt last year in the playoffs, they needed the Knicks needed to at least make the finals this year. Honestly, like if they didn't make the finals this year, it probably would have been a disappointment because Tyrese Halliburton is out. Jason Tatum was essentially out this season, and the Knicks they doing what they're supposed to do. Now I'm a little nervous for them going into this next round, depending if they play Cleveland or Detroit, or even if they make the finals, because OG Anunoby has this hamstring injury, and those hamstrings, as we know, it's nothing to play
ain't nothing to
around with.
play with.
Nothing to play with. And I think Mitchell Robinson also has an injury too. And OG low key has been like the second best player in this playoff run.
He's been their most consistent player, like no
Yeah,
question. Like from the start of the Hawks series to now, he has been on both ends their most consistent player. He's given them some outlier, crazy shot making performances as well. So yeah, that's gonna be a blow. But the good news for them is they get to sit back and kind of rest up, relax, kick their
yeah,
feet up because we got a dog fight going on
yeah.
with
We can actually jump into that series.
yeah, we could jump into
Um,
that. We could save the morning for the back half. We got some mourning going on. I
yeah,
mourned, now you mourn. We both mourn.
yeah. So we can jump into that Detroit and Cleveland series. So last time we recorded, it was the start of game one, and we both made our predictions. I think you had Cavs in 6, I had Cavs in 7. But I mean, through 2.5 games, through 2 3/4 games, it was looking pretty sketchy for Cleveland. Detroit won the first couple games. Um, Cleveland was kind of playing like kind of a little uncharacteristic, like in a way. James Harden was not playing up to par. They were turning the ball over a lot, and Detroit was capitalizing, especially in the clutch. And then coming to game three, Cleveland, they started off hot, and then Detroit made that incredible third quarter run. Then it was clutch. It was clutch time, and you know, Detroit, man, they was looking pretty good. And then Cade had three nasty turnovers, three turnovers back to back to back, like literally. And James Harden clutched it out. He had some clutch buckets, some step backs, some floaters, 3-pointers. Cade was trying to match him in the clutch, but it inevitably went to Cleveland. And then game four was looking kind of. Hold on, Karis LeVert stole Donovan Mitchell powers, and then in the second half, Donovan Mitchell had like probably one of the greatest second half performances we could recall in
Yeah,
NBA
playoff
history.
record, 39 points in the second half. He tied
Nah, he had
Sleepy.
40.
Well, no. I think he had 39 of it in the. It was 39 in the second half. He had 4 in
No,
the first half. Yeah.
no, I thought he had.
Mm-mm.
He
So
didn't. He didn't have. Oh, he
he
missed
had
that free throw.
he missed the free throw. Yeah. So he had a
Yeah.
chance. He had a chance to have the record just him. He tied the record. It was he had hit the first free throw and it tied it, and then he could have got the record to himself, but he missed it. So I mean, he basically still got the record. He's tied with Sleepy Floyd, who like 30 years ago or something like that, 40 years ago had dropped 55 in a playoff game randomly. But yeah, so that was a crazy second half. But to me, when I'm looking at this series, I keep going back to watching that Cleveland versus Toronto series because a lot of the narrative coming into this series was, and we'll see, the series is not over. I could still be wrong about my prediction, but I feel more confident in my prediction, even though it wasn't looking so good when they were down 2-0. But even when they were down 2-0, I thought the Cavs still had a very good chance to come back and tie this series and send it back to game 5, tied 2-2, because those two games, they played very, very bad when it came to just their process. They couldn't even get the ball, like simple things. Harden was dribbling the ball off his foot. He was losing the ball out of bounds. They were having so many unforced errors. And come fourth quarter of both of those games, they were still in a
Yeah.
position to win the game. They had,
Had
I
the
think they
lead
had,
in the
they,
leading
they had
game
the,
too.
they had the lead in game 2 with with under 5 minutes to go, and they lost it. They had tied the game with 5 minutes to go in game 1, and they lost it. But they were right there in striking distance in crunch time, and then they just started turning the ball over again in crunch time, and the Pistons were getting out and running, and then Cade had some really big shots late in one of those games to close them out. But the way that they played to be in that position was always a good sign for me, because I've seen how they've played, and I'm not going to make this strictly just, oh, this is their one team on the road and one team at home, because I think that's a little too simplistic. I think a lot of people are just saying, oh, the Cavs haven't lost at home, and so they're a great home team and they just struggle to win on the road. Technically, that's how it's played out in these playoffs. But if you really look at the game, so like the series against Toronto, Cleveland won those two games. They didn't just go to Toronto and like, oh, we just suck in Toronto. We just can't play well because we suck in Toronto. No, Toronto made key adjustments to change the series, to change the complexion of the series. And it was key defensive adjustments to really give themselves a great chance to win that series. They completely changed how they were playing defensively, the way they were guarding Harden and Mitchell. And I still maintain that was a better defense to guard this Cavs team than the Pistons, although the Pistons are the higher ranked defense. And that is because if you watch these games, the Cavs are still able to get into a lot of if they don't turn the ball over, they're able to get into a lot of their actions much easier and get in space and get good shots up. They're able to get like a lot of good looks. Jonathan Mitchell looks way more comfortable in this series than he looked against Toronto. And not just that he looks more comfortable, but his decision making is a lot easier because he's seeing less bodies. He's not being crowded as much on the perimeter. He's not getting guys that are constantly helping, and he's having to decide, should I shoot or should I pass or should I? He's able to say, oh, I'm going to my shot. I'm going downhill. I'm going into my bag and miss or make, right? That's what I feel like I've been seeing. And even in the games in Detroit where he didn't have great games, I still liked a lot of the shots he was getting. He just wasn't making a lot of them, right? But I thought he was still getting good looks. And that wasn't the case in Toronto. In Toronto, like, because they changed the way they were playing him. They were shading him. They were playing in the gaps. They were switching everything. And they were blowing up a lot of the plays. Like they weren't able to run pick and roll as effectively after the first two games. That's not how the Pistons play defense. And they don't have the personnel to execute that, to me. And so that is something that I thought was going to always be a factor. But we had James Harden having horrendous performances in Detroit. He could not take care of the ball. He was losing the ball early and often. And some of it was good defense. Don't get me wrong. Ron Holland had a couple really good defensive plays on him. Asar had a couple good defensive plays on him. I think Cade had one where he just straight up just took the ball from Harden. Harden was dribbling. Harden was like playing with it. He was dribbling for like 8 seconds, 10 seconds. And then Cade just poked it and then dived on it and he got it and they jump started to break. He's been doing ISOs the last two games. He's just been more quick with the ball, quick with the isolations, 1 or 2 moves and I'm going downhill. 1 or 2 moves, I'm getting to my step back. 1 or 2 moves, and I'm penetrating and getting off the ball. He's not just playing as much with it, but also he's also just generally taking better care of the ball. Like when it comes to not like having unforced errors, that right there is a huge plus for them both ways. Because Detroit to me is so reliant on getting out in transition and running. Because to me, they really have a couple good like half court operators. Is what I'm gonna say. We just gonna say half. I'm just gonna say half court operators. So we're gonna say Cade, very good in the half court, and Tobias when he has that midi going, which he's been having to go most of this playoffs.
Post game,
he got a really good post game, and he's got that turnaround mid range jumper, pull up mid range jumper, And those are their two guys that can like they really can go to and like
Wait,
that's
wait,
who they
wait. You
usually
can't
go to.
forget. You can't forget the great Karis LeVert. Is it, which I think like
Man,
they gonna need him like not to do exactly what he did yesterday because yesterday was insane. He was going off in the first half and the second half, but like that goes to show like how limited they are with offensive creation. They're gonna need more of Karis LeVert. They're gonna need more of Paul Reed in this series. Like I wouldn't be surprised if you see less of Jalen Duren, less of even Asar Thompson. As great as he is defensively, man, I'm watching Cade try to drive. He creating space, driving to the paint, and then Jalen Duren and Asar Thompson just standing right there. He passes to Asar Thompson. Asar Thompson can't finish over. It was Allen and Mobley in the paint. So yeah, Paul Reed and Karis LeVert, they're gonna see more minutes. They're gonna because they're gonna space the floor. Paul Reed can shoot. He can stretch the floor. He can create for himself. He can pass. Like they're gonna need them two to step up because as you saw in these two games in Cleveland, K was getting a lot of turnovers and yeah, some of it is on K. Like one was when Max Strus was like hounded him for 8 seconds up the court and he got a 8 second violation or like that bad inbound pass. But a lot of it is like clogged areas. Like Cade, he likes to drive, like to get his mid range pull up. He likes to get to the rim, but it's easier for you to defend that when you have non spacers, especially with how Jalen Duren been playing. Man, Jalen Duren is losing money every game.
he's losing money by the minute. and that to me, like he's probably the biggest, he's one of the biggest, if not the biggest, like playoff quote unquote dropper I've seen in recent history. Like this dude right here, like he's down like massively. Like he was averaging like was he averaging like 20 or 19? He was averaging almost 20 points per game in the regular season.
Yeah, he was averaging almost.
He's basically a 20 and yeah, he was like a 20 and 10 or 20 and 12 guy in the regular season. This playoffs, this series has been even worse. But this playoffs in general, I think he's averaging like what he's averaging like 10 and 12, like 10 and 8. He's averaging 10 and 8 basically for this for these playoffs. And he's had a lot of like single digit games. I was looking at something. I think he's had 6 single digit regular season scoring games the entire regular season. And in the playoffs, he's had 5.
Yep.
Single digit scoring games.
Yep. And I'm watching
this
dude.
Insane.
I'm watching this dude dribble, put 20 ice when he driving to the rim, and Evan Mobley is just snatching in the air. Hey, Jalen Duren, what are you doing? Like,
so yeah,
terrible hoops right now.
And it's not just like his offense has not been what he
played.
Yeah, but his rebounding has been glaring. Like it's not just like his scoring. Like you would think that he would still be like able to, dominate the glass. And he had I think he had 2 rebounds last night. 2 rebounds from Jalen Duren, dude. Just like a massive baby Dwight Howard.
Yes.
And he's going out there and he's getting boxed out and he's getting taken out of the plays entirely. Like a lot of the games I'm watching, I'm forgetting he's on the floor. You should not be forgetting somebody as big as Jalen Duren is on the court. And that's just showing like how much his impact is not being felt, how much he's not really, putting his imprint on the game. And going into the series, I said that for the Cavs to really for the Pistons to win the series, they need Jalen Duren to win those matchups. He has to be the best front court player. He has to like be the guy that's like when you're talking about who's winning that Mobley, Allen, Stewart, Duren matchup, it needs to be Jalen Duren. If it's not, to me that's got to be leaning towards the Cavs, or you're because you're going to be counting to me on too many outlier shooting performances from guys that haven't done that, like a Karis LeVert who was playing out of his mind. He was basically their best player,
like Tracy McGrady, and he was playing good defensively. Like
Yeah, he had a couple of really good defensive plays on Harden and Mitchell. He had one
Donovan
where like
Mitchell,
Mitchell
yeah,
couldn't get the first half. He had Mitchell clamped up on like a couple
yeah.
plays where he just like lost the ball, couldn't dribble, couldn't get around him. And then second half happened, and then Mitchell just like
I can't get over how like I had a feeling like I'm watching the game. I'm like I don't really bet anymore, but I wonder what's Donovan Mitchell like. What's his second round? I mean,
his line.
what's his second half line? Like I wonder what it was. In my head, I'm thinking this dude Donovan Mitchell had one of the greatest halves of basketball like I've ever seen. Oh, Jason Collins died.
Whoa.
Oh, that's the one I remember. He had cancer though. He had like stage something. I don't know. And then I know you saw. I don't know if you saw today. Brandon Clark died too.
Yeah, I saw the Brandon Clark news. I didn't know about Jason Collins.
I just got the
That that
notification.
that just happened.
Yeah. Well,
Hmm.
prayers up to Jason Collins and Brandon Clark. Brandon Clark. It's really crazy about Brandon Clark because he's only 29 years old. He was in the league. Like he's a
Yeah,
pretty talented player. He's a, a solid. That's a solid role player, and he had like some injuries. I think he had towards ACL maybe like a couple years ago, and
yeah,
just unfortunate news. I was driving when I heard that. That's just crazy.
yeah. I don't want to speculate on it, but it seems like it almost seems like it could be connected. Like what happened with like his injury stuff, and then because you
Didn't he
saw
have
like
like a arrest or something?
well, yeah, but it was like I read about that. It wasn't nothing serious. Like
Mm.
he got pulled over for like he had a kratom, which is like a powder for like people take it for like anxiety and stress and stuff like
Oh,
that.
okay.
But it's not legal in all states. It's legal in a lot of states though. But like in the state he's in Arkansas, he got pulled over and it's illegal in Arkansas. And but it's not like to me, I don't think that was what it was. I mean, I don't want to say it's not connected because you take that for like if you're stressed and have anxiety,
Hmm.
and then like he got hurt, missed the whole season, came back, got hurt again, missed the whole season. You never know, like what he could be thinking, what could be going through
Yeah,
his head, like struggling to come back, and who knows? But
yeah. You just never
yeah,
know some of these athletes. Like they like some of the injuries they may go through, things that they play through. Like we watch it from home and we expecting greatness, but you don't know how these dudes feeling. Like some of these dudes, they taking shots before the game to just get out there and run and play for 48 minutes. Like so, you never know how
yeah,
that could be just affecting them physically and mentally.
yeah.
Um,
And I looked at it like the year that he had that first like season ender, he had just signed like an
yep.
extension, right? And then he got hurt, missed the whole year, came back, got hurt again, missed the whole year, and his extension was supposed to. I think this was supposed to be the last year. Like he was supposed to be like this was going to be his last season on that contract.
Mm.
And so and he'd been dealing with injuries even since then. Like this past season, he was still dealing with injuries and couldn't barely stay on the court. And so like you never know like if what you're dealing with mentally when you're struggling to come back and how that could have an impact on like him.
Yeah, because
It's sad.
these real people. Like
Yeah.
sometimes, like as supporters of the game and watching them playing video games, watching them my whole life. These are real life, real people that have like real issues, and you know, I mean, of course, it's easy to say
Yeah.
looking from home. Oh yeah, you get paid millions of dollars to go play a game. Well, we don't know exactly what's going on, behind the scenes with these guys and they mental health. So tough
Nah, it's sad,
situation,
man.
um, but yeah, I mean, what we was talking
Oh,
about
yeah, oh yeah. So yeah, we talking about
Donovan Mitchell.
yeah. So yeah, Donovan Mitchell came out
Man,
there
he had
and yeah,
everything cooking in the second half.
he he what I do like, and this to me is like they definitely went to the locker room and they had a conversation about it. Because when they came out, they were down four. Like this is one of the things I was watching the game is I thought they were playing well as far as the decision making, the shots they were getting, but they were just missing a lot of the shots they were getting. and they were taking care of the ball. The Cavs were getting good looks, and the Pistons were making a lot of tough shots. Like Tobias was making some tough shots. Karras made a ton of shots you like pull up mid range, turn around mid range.
But
He was hitting his
to be
threes.
fair, when peak, like, I don't say peak Karras because that sounds crazy, but like
Brooklyn
Karras at his best, he does that. Like his nickname is Baby KD.
Yeah, he's had games, but it's been like some years, you know.
Yeah,
and
yeah, probably like go back to his Nets days.
Yeah, his Brooklyn days.
Yeah,
and
but I remember
he,
this one game in the bubble. I don't know if you remember this. It was like Karras, he was battling with Damian Lillard, and bro, that was one of the like most underrated battles I've ever seen, like an NBA game. Like, I don't know if people remember that, but it was in the bubble. I remember that vividly. Like Karras was looking like, I kid you not, Michael Jordan, bro. I swear to God.
There was multiple bubble legends.
Yeah, Karras LeVert.
I'm blanking on somebody from the Pacers.
On the Pacers. TJ Warren.
Yes, TJ Warren. Oh my God.
TJ
Bubble
Warren
superstar.
Going stupid in the bubble, dog.
Yeah. But yeah, he was their best player, honestly, last night. Like, if you just like not, because I thought like it was just gonna be a half. He kept on playing great in the second half too.
Yeah. With his
and it was
with his shot making was still.
Yeah, shot making. Like, I'm not big on like, I want to put everything on single game plus minus, but for plus, like, you look at the plus minus, he was their only dude that was clearly a positive. Him and Paul Reed, but he was like a clear a positive in that game. As far as like the overall play of the Pistons, to me, I feel like one of the things that's a concern for them, and I think it's becoming a bigger concern as the series has gone on, is we always talk about they don't have a secondary quote unquote shot creator, reliable ball handler, playmaker outside of Cade, which puts a lot of pressure on Cade to have to make a lot of decisions. He's got a guard on the other end. He's got to come down. He's got to create most of the offense, and then he's got to create his own shot a lot of times as well. Like, he's usually that guy. If it ever is somebody, it's going to be Dennis Jenkins during this regular season. But Dennis Jenkins' play has been very up and down. And these playoffs, he was really, really good those first two games in Detroit. But a big part of that was he was getting out and running in transition. Yeah. He's able to force turnovers, get easy layups, and get easy dunks at the rim. And then what I noticed, he's a very big confidence guy. When he gets some easy buckets in transition,
he starts shooting at mid range.
Now he's hitting. Now he's scoring in the half court. Now he's hitting his pull up mid range. Now, catch and shoot three. I got it. And like, he's very like, he's demonstrative. Like, when you see Dennis Jenkins playing and he's super hyped up, you know he's playing well. When you see Dennis Jenkins and he's not hyped up, you know he's playing bad. Like, you could tell. You could just see he's a guy that's very much like, you look at his demeanor, you know what Dennis Jenkins you got tonight. If he's fired up and he's playing well. If he's looking like, he's having a rough night, right? And so, like, to me, a big key for them is they got to start forcing some more turnovers. They got to turn the Cavs over, because the Cavs, I think, have made some adjustments to be a little bit sharper offensively. Like, they're setting their screens a lot higher up the court. They're setting them up like closer to midcourt, and they're setting them up more in the middle of the court. So it's a lot harder to rotate and double without, guys, being left wide open. And so they're being better with their screening, and that's also, helping them clean up some of those careless turnovers. But also, I feel like the Pistons got to probably blitz them a little bit more, because I feel like in that second half, Donovan Mitchell was getting a lot of he honestly, to be fair, he was getting a lot of single coverage in the first half and he was missing. But they're gonna have to do something to like throw off the rhythm of Donovan Mitchell, because I feel like he's got into a groove now. Like, game 2, I think he played well in game 2, scoring. He didn't have a super efficient game, but I think he had a solid game when it came to just like overall scoring. Game 3 was amazing. And then game 4, he struggled in the first half, but he was ridiculous in the second half. They have to make an adjustment on Donovan Mitchell. I want to see if it's going to be, it could just be like, we're just going to, keep a star on him and hope a star, just doesn't get in foul trouble and plays really well. But that's been hurting them on the other end. So I want to see if they're going to make any adjustments there, because Asar was also great in those first 2 games. And then he's been more inconsistent. He was bad last night. But game 3, I think he was, Game 3, he was good defensively, but he was just, still struggling somewhat here and there offensively with some of his decision making. But game 4, you could tell he did not want to shoot. He was passing up open looks. He was getting the ball thrown to him open. He was dribbling into the paint, and then he was throwing it out. He had a couple like really bad turnovers where he was just like clearly just trying to get rid of the ball and then threw it out of bounds or threw it to one of the Cavs.
And he
That's
was
something that
fouling like crazy. He was
yeah.
just he had like 2 like early fouls, and you know that they need him. They need him defensively, especially on a guy like Donovan Mitchell. And luckily, Karis LeVert was able to save the day, in the first half. But in the second half, boy,
Yeah, and like
Donovan
and
Mitchell was
K
pissed.
yeah, and like as far as Cade, like that's probably his worst game of the playoffs. That might be his worst game of his play. Well, I gotta look back at the last year's series against the
It
Pistons.
may be because
Against the Knicks.
like Cade, he had a streak going. He had scored 20 points in all his playoff games, except for that one. I think he had 19 yesterday.
Yeah, and a lot of it was because the turnovers.
Yeah, like he
had
started the game well. Like he had like 12 points. He had like maybe like a couple turnovers in the first half.
yeah.
And then
He
the
only
second
finished
half,
with 5. Yeah, he only finished with 5 turnovers, but it wasn't that it was that everybody on that team was having turnover issues.
yeah.
Because a lot of times people just look at him because he's been having a lot of turnovers this playoffs. That's going to be if the Pistons somehow lose this series, that's going to be a big narrative because they're going to be like, because right now he's on track for the most turnovers in playoff history. But like it's not become much of a talking point because he gives you so much, and he's having to rely on having to create everything himself, having to generate so much offense, and then having to play on the other side. That I understand why it's not a main focus, but the way you said it yourself, they could have been up 3-0 if he didn't have that crazy stretch of turnovers.
Yeah,
and that right there, that blown opportunity could come back and be it. Yeah,
it could be a fatigue thing though. Like because like having to have to carry the load of the scoring, the playmaking, and you're tasked with defending either Harden or Mitchell on the other end, which he's done solid like this series. And you on the court with a dude like Jalen Duren who's giving you nothing. Like K was the Pistons was kind of making a little fake comeback yesterday in the fourth quarter, and K he found Jalen Duren wide open under the goal. Jalen Duren looking at the rim, like so that can be that's a little exhausting and it's fatigue, and some of those turnovers are fatigue. Like you get heavy legs and we also forget he's playing with like some type of some like padding like around his stomach or his ribs or something like that because he dealt with the collapsed lungs. So he's still dealing with that issue too. So it's a lot on his shoulders, and it's only it's growing. It's a growing pain for Cade. Only in year 5, a guy who I think is a superstar. Andrew don't think he's quite there yet, but I mean we both know he's elite.
I think that he's a future superstar. I'm not gonna say superstar yet, but I think that like he's got all the potential to become one. My thing with him is I need to see his efficiency go up. And he's like this series, but even some of that Matty series, he does get his volume because but a big part of that is he's gonna be the guy that's gonna take 30 shots if it requires it. He's gonna have to take 25, 30, whatever shot, however many shots it takes, he's gonna have to take those shots. And that's gonna be, some nights he's gonna be able to give it to you, but some nights if that jumper is not his mid-range jumper is good. If that 3-point shot is not on, his finishing is sometimes up and down. Like he's not the greatest finisher.
You think Cade would rather be more of a point guard that's like Luka, who's more like heliocentric, who wants the ball like all the time, wants to create other offense, scoring and assisting, or more of like he would want to play with like a better scorer than him? Like, what do you think? Like, what do you think will be the best? I guess like situation for Cade as far as his his basketball career. What could help increase his efficiency or his I guess like the best situation for him to win in?
I think that he needs another playmaker. I think he needs like another like quality on ball creator. I think he could be like he could be a great playmaker, elite playmaker, but I don't think he needs to be the guy that's dominating every single possession. I think he needs to have somebody, whether it's going to be, it doesn't need to be like 50-50, whether it's 60-40 or something like that. Like somebody that can be like a point guard, honestly, but he can also, share those responsibilities. Whether it's
So
something
sort of
like
like Harden and Chris Paul.
something like that. And obviously it doesn't have to be a literal Chris Paul, but like I think he needs another starting guard alongside him. That's not just I'm just gonna stand off to the side and let you
Yeah.
create for me. Like it doesn't need to be Duncan Robinson. Duncan Robinson, a great shooter. You need to get it. I think the Pistons need to in the offseason find a 3-and-D guy. You need to find a 3-and-D guy. You need to make that acquisition. And then you all need to, get another whether if you keep one of the two, you're either going to find a legit 3-and-D guy, or you're going to find a quality secondary ball handler who's in the starting lineup with Cade that Cade can play off of. I think him having.
No, my bad. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think that like he needs that because it's taxing because he is a two-way player. He has become a very good defender. I think that offensively he can create a lot of his own shots, but I think it would be such a big boost to his efficiency if he can get more catch and shoot opportunities. If he doesn't have to like, create everything, like especially like just give him like, a few catch and shoot 3-point shots a game. You'll see his 3-point shooting go up. His efficiency on that.
Yeah.
If you give him more times where he can like cut and do some stuff off ball, because I think he's very capable of scoring off ball in that sense. And so him having to like, get most of his point shots, self-generated or rely on transition turnovers to get those type of opportunities, I think that's doing a disservice to getting the best out of him. And a lot of that
ideal. Yeah. I'm not gonna say. Well, I'll say it, but I don't want him to go there. Because
LeBron James.
Nah,
LeBron James.
I was saying LeBron. I was thinking about Austin Reeves. That would be the perfect, like a ball handler, somebody that can take the pressure off. Like, Austin would be perfect in Detroit.
No, I agree, and like they have a lot of defenders that they could, they already had a great defense with Duncan Robinson, so I don't think Austin Reeves is a step back on as far as Duncan Robinson goes.
Yeah.
So I mean, like he would give them way more than Duncan Robinson provides, and consistent baseline of like playmaking, secondary playmaking, and shot making. Yeah, that would make them a much better team. I don't know if that would actually happen, because I think the Lakers are going to probably give him that big contract that he's looking for. But we'll see, maybe they won't, or maybe they won't give him exactly what another team might be willing to offer. Maybe another team's going willing to, throw something crazy at him. So if they don't give him that.
Speaking of Austin Reeves and the Lakers, guess we can just jump into that series. Wait, real quick, prediction for Game 5, Cavs Pistons. Who you got?
I think this is I said Cavs in 6. I feel no reason to change that after seeing like the momentum shift. And here's something that's big to me. Now we'll see if everything just flips on its head come Detroit. If the Cavs get off to a good start in that game, I think that they're gonna it's gonna be over. I think they're gonna win that second half. I think a big part of this has been they've been getting off to terrible starts in almost all these games. And except for last game. I think last game was a good start. But they've been getting off to a bad start.
Well, kind of like they started off good, and then Karis LeVert came in, and then
but it still felt like they were playing the right way, and it just was and so like I think they had one turnover in the first quarter. They do that again. They do like if they have like one or two, maybe 3 turnovers in the first quarter. I think that's a positive sign. But I think that what makes me feel more likely that they're going to win, that this is going to be the game they're going to steal in Detroit, is that I'm looking at a lot of the guys on Detroit, and it's not just that some of them haven't played well, it's that I feel like they're losing confidence. Like if you start the series one way, and like Durant wasn't playing amazing to start the series, but like they were winning and he was doing enough. He was doing enough.
Like in game 2, he closed really well, had those 3.
Yeah. but then
dunks.
like, but then like now like as you struggle as bad as you have in the last two games, you're getting thoroughly outplayed by Jared Allen and Evan Mobley, who had an amazing defensive performance. This man
Evan
almost
Mobley
had
been a beast this series
he
on
almost
both.
had a 5 by 5
Yeah.
in that game. But his the way he's been rotating, guarding the perimeter, getting back to the
Mhm.
big man, been amazing defensively. If so he's growing in confidence. He's learning how he wants to defend and how to play against his Pistons team. And I feel like there's question marks now that's being thrown around by the media, by fans. Even his coach is pulling you out the game and he's saying, Paul Reed, go show me what you got. Because Paul Reed's being more reliable than him. That's a concern level for me that you're going back to Detroit. If Duran's not sure if Duran's not confident, and now he's like, oh, like this dude, Paul Reed's gonna be possibly taking my minutes and coming in for me. What Jalen Duran are you gonna get? And you're definitely going to start him. There's no way they're not going to start him because they're going to lose him if they just bench him to start the game. So they're going to start him, but how soon are you going to pull him if he's not playing well? And what does that do for his confidence going forward in the rest of that game and the rest of the series? Is that going to make him play better, or is he going to just continue to like? Is it going to make him play worse? I don't know if that's a positive thing going into Game 5. Is you have him questioning, am I going to get benched if I don't perform like I need to perform? And not just that,
Yeah,
like
bro,
they
there's
have
some
they have
talent.
they have multiple guys that are like they don't really know. I feel like they have question marks of who should I put in and when should I put them in. Dennis Jenkins has not been playing well. He's been really bad the last two games. Are they going to still roll him out there? Are they going to go more with Karis LeVert now because Karis LeVert had that great game 4? But maybe Karis LeVert he's not somebody that's been that guy all season. So maybe he doesn't actually provide you that, and he's coming out there being super aggressive, but he's not giving you that same production level. There's a lot of like things I feel like that the Pistons have question marks on going into Game 5. While I feel like the Cavs have found things, they found answers that I think that could bode well for them going into Game 5. One of those things has also been not just like how they were executing and taking care of the ball offensively, but their defense. The way they're guarding Cade, now. Like if you watch, there's multiple possessions in that game where Cade he'd be guarded by Dean Wade, or he'd be guarded by Max Strus, and then when he would try and take them off the dribble, you see Jared Allen or Evan Mobley come over and rotate to cut off that driving lane, and then they would have either Donovan Mitchell or James Harden playing the passing lane.
And James
They
Harden
would,
still it, yeah.
both of them, Harden and Harden did it twice. Donovan Mitchell did it once. They got turnovers on him. What they did was they completely left their man. And that man they were leaving, they were completely leaving Asar. They were completely leaving Dennis Jenkins. And they just were like, oh, wait, I'm just going to leave my guy, and then I'm going to jump the next possible pass. So like whatever guy was open, they were just playing between that Dennis Jenkins and Asar, and then that corner 3-point shooter. And then like as soon as K went for the outlet, boom, I'm jumping it because I'm showing no respect to Dennis Jenkins, and I'm not showing much respect to Asar shooting that ball. So that's going to be a concern now. Like it's there's a lot more questions. I think that maybe you go back to Detroit and you're back in front of your home crowd, and everybody's shot making is just on another level, and they're turning the ball over, and the Cavs can't execute.
Yeah.
Maybe that's going to happen, but we shall see.
Yeah, my prediction for Game 5, like I would agree with you that the Cavs found some things, but I would say Detroit has found some things too. But I'm interested to see what JB does with the whole Paul Reed thing, because like Paul Reed, he played really well in Game 3. He played really well in Game 4. The problem is he didn't even play Paul Reed in the first half of Game 4. So I think Paul Reed, like you look at the sample size from Game 3 and Game 4, Paul Reed has to get minutes. Like agree. Probably shouldn't start over Jalen Duren. You're gonna kill his confidence completely. But Paul Reed should be your first big off the bench, honestly.
He's been better.
Paul Reed should be playing at least like 25 minutes in game
He's been
5.
better than both. He's been better than both of them, which is crazy.
Yeah.
He's been outplaying both of them in like half the amount of minutes.
Facts.
That's insane. That's
Facts.
insane.
And
so like
Karis LeVert, like you got like I think he went into the last game with like a heel injury or something like that. But I doubt he continues to miss like to miss time. I mean, it's the playoffs. Everybody's hurt. So I think yeah, Karras has to get some minutes going forward. And like the way he played in game 4 is it's only right that he gonna be featured more in game 5. What Karras you're gonna get, I don't know. But what you can get from him, you gotta like kind of you gotta hope for that. You gotta put him in that position at least to uh to provide for you. Because like the player that we were talking about that Kate needs next to him, Karras needs to kind of provide that because that's what he was doing last game. And I think Detroit the last reason I think Detroit gonna be better defensively um from game 4 to game 5. And it always seems that the time when a coach complains to the refs or something, or complains about the refs, the next game things kind of go their way. And I saw a tweet that said one thing about JB Bickerstaff, he gonna bicker about the staff. So
Oh, he I think more than any coach in the league, he gets on the refs. Every game I watch with
yeah,
him on the sideline, every play he be going ham, like going crazy, yelling to the refs or walking up to them, getting in their face. So I do think that a lot of what he did in that post game was trying to get more attention on the officiating and the calls and see if they'll now that could go positively or it could go negatively. Like you never know because sometimes it could be like okay they're gonna call things tighter and they give you more calls and they could call things both ways tighter or they could just let y'all play both
yeah,
ways, right? But also it could be a negative in that it could make your team and you have guys struggling start looking to the refs
yeah,
and start like looking around like hey like oh like hey like looking for calls and not playing the way that they're Detroit basketball quote unquote.
yeah.
So we'll see.
Bad boy.
We'll see going into game 5, but I think that I think that the biggest key for them is just forcing turnovers. That's got to be um that's got to be a point of emphasis. Whatever they got to do to like switch things up defensively, send some late blitzes, give them some different looks, especially Donovan Mitchell. That's got to be like a point of emphasis, I think. But Paul Reed getting more minutes. I'm a Paul Reed guy, even though I chose the Cavs and that's the team that I think is gonna win this series. I think Paul Reed is one of the most underrated players in the league, and he should be getting like consistent backup minutes on some team out there. I don't think he's a true starting center. He's not at that level because I think his ceiling is really, really good, but I think his floor is really good. I think his ceiling is not the best because he does have some limitations defensively as a rim protector, but I think he's still very switchable as a defensive player. And he's a very good rebounder, plays with so much energy, and as an offensive player, amazing finisher, got really good touch around the hoop. And he's even made some good jumpers in this series. Like when he's gotten opportunities, he
Yeah.
takes advantage of his opportunities. That's what I like about him. He doesn't let a moment go to waste. You put him out, you put me out there, I'm giving you max everything. What you want? You want this hezzy tween turnaround, floating fall away hook? Oh, you want a 3-point shot, catch and shoot? I got it. Oh, a turnaround midi off one leg? I got it. Like that's the type of
Yeah,
stuff he
this
was
dude's
doing in
been
game
doing
3.
up and unders.
Yes, like
And
that man works on his game, and
yeah,
he's always ready to come out there and perform. So
mm,
I always got like respect and like love for Paul Reed because that dude like he is like he's a hooper. So yeah,
yeah. Wait,
we gonna see.
well, one last point on this series before we move on. Andrew, how nervous were you as somebody who's supporting the Cavs in the series, and of course, a hardened supporter? How nervous were you at the end of that game when the backups were in? Cleveland was up like it felt like it was,
Game 4?
yeah.
Oh no. Okay, no, I wasn't nervous in game 4. I was nervous in game 3. I was nervous in
No,
game
I
3.
know you was I know you was
Yeah,
nervous in game 3, but I'm talking
yeah.
about like
But
it felt like the Cavs had the game in hand in game 4, and then Ron Holland and Paul Reed and the Sweats came in. Marcus
They
Sasser.
they yeah they brought out all these dudes, and it was Dennis Jenkins, Sasser, Paul Reed, and Ron Holland, and then they had dudes that haven't played since the last time these dudes touched the court. The Cavs like the Pistons still had guys that were still getting some minutes somewhat. They pulled out Proctor and CPJ
Porter Jr. Yeah,
and Porter Jr. The only dude on that they brought out there that has barely played a little bit in the postseason was Keon Ellis. And Keon Ellis couldn't even touch the ball because these dudes could not pass the ball inbounds. They could not pass the ball whatsoever.
The ball and Kenny Atkinson was like, "Hold on, let me call a timeout. Let me get Harden."
These dudes had like 3 turnovers in a row, I think.
Yeah,
and it was like in the span of like 30 seconds game time. It was like, bro,
yeah, that was crazy. Because I text you, I was like, "Oh, they probably need to get the starters out of there." Because Cleveland got and Detroit had already pulled their starters. So I was like, "Yeah, they need to get their starters out of there." As soon as the starters come out, then Detroit they just started playing like they an AAU team. They was trapping, stealing the ball. I was like,
you already know what that means. Kenny ain't going to these dudes ever again.
Yeah.
Atkinson he's like, nah, we gotta be up by 30 for me to put y'all out there. Because they were up by I think it was probably 16, 17 points with 3 minutes, something like that. And he just started.
Yeah, that was crazy. And then it got down to 8.
Yeah. So that was nasty work right there. That's the opposite. We saw the Paul Reed effect, and then we saw the anti-Paul. They got anti-Paul Reeds on the Cavs bench. There's a bunch of fake anti-Paul.
Yeah, it's crazy. Other game yesterday ended. It was probably the most entertaining game of this series. Well, definitely the most entertaining game of this series. Thunder versus Lakers. Thunder end up winning. They end up sweeping my Lakers in this series. SGA finally had a great MVP performance in this series. He was hooping, he was making tough shots. Because JJ and Marcus Smart, they in the Lakers coaching staff, they've been making it tough on them this series. Honestly, he's been playing a lot. He was kind of almost like a walking 4-on-3 because they were doubling and trapping them. But Marcus Smart was actually playing good point of attack defense on them as well. JJ had a good game plan for SGA, but a lot of other players got off. Shout out to AJ Mitchell, who's in his second year. He probably was the best player in the series. I would say either him or Chet Holmgren was the best player in this series for the Thunder. I mean, AJ Mitchell was just doing everything. He was cooking Austin Reeves. Mid-range shot was going. 3-point shot was going. He was getting to the paint. He was playmaking. He was doing everything.
I saw somebody say yesterday that they got a young Allen Iverson on the bench. They got the nerve to have a young Allen Iverson. But and then I think you're right. I don't think it was SGA that was the best player in the series for that team, which is crazy.
Yeah, I think it's a difficult I won't say difficult conversation, but it's obviously if you watch the game, SGA is their best player.
Yeah,
just watching the game, but who played the best? I mean, AJ Mitchell and Chet Holmgren were phenomenal in this series. SGA, he was kind of doubled and stuff, and AJ Mitchell was going he was getting guarded by Austin Reeves, kind of 1-on-1, or DeAndre Ayton 1-on-1 on switches, or Rui Hachimura, who's too slow for him. And Chet Holmgren was just, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I saw a stat. He shot 90-something% in the paint in this series, which is insane. Because he's going against
shout out DeAndre Ayton, dominating.
This fool DeAndre Ayton got a chain. I hope he didn't just get this when we down 3-0, because Bleacher Report posted that right before the game. That's super messy.
That's crazy. That better not be a recent clip. You down 3-0 and this man getting the
dominating chain.
That better be an old clip from a couple months ago or something.
This man DeAndre Ayton. This man
crazy. At that point, he basically trolling his own team at that point.
But yeah, Shed was a beast on both ends this series. Shout out to him. Um, who else? Jared McCain was shooting crazy efficiently in this series. Like I think going into last game, he was shooting like 81% from three, if I'm not mistaken, in this series. And then he shot it well yesterday. So I don't know what the percentage was. I just know he was amazing. Alex Caruso was doing his thing. Former Laker, I always got love for Alex Caruso. Man, this Thunder squad, man, they they elite, dog. They elite, and like the analyst in me before the series, I said OKC was gonna sweep, but I picked Lakers in 5 because I just want us to get one. I thought yesterday could have been the one. It was a really good game. Um, Rui Hachimura was going crazy. Rui Hachimura was going crazy. Jackson Hayes was going crazy. Um, Austin and LeBron were pretty good, but Austin had a lot of turnovers. LeBron wasn't very good in the clutch. Marcus Smart was tripping though. Marcus Smart had man. Were you up? Were you watching that game? This dude,
I watched the fourth quarter.
this dude, Marcus Smart was terrible. He
He
was
had
just turning up.
that one BS shot late in the
Yeah,
game.
he did get that and one layup. I give him that. That put
But
us up. Before that, man, just some of the most terrible passes I've ever seen in my life.
shout out
Bad
Rui
fouls.
Hachimura though. Shout out
Man,
Rui.
so I want to ask you about something though. So it was a lot of like people like getting on JJ after the game about his that lineup on like the final play for Austin Reeves when he shot that three to try to potentially tie the game, but it went in and out. And people were just heated. They were just so mad because Rui Hachimura wasn't on the floor, and I wasn't upset at that at all. Like, and it was like, well, what you think? And I get my explanation on that.
I mean, I wouldn't have been like super upset about it, but I do think he should have been on the floor. I
So,
understand. Yeah.
but like, my bad, I'm trying to focus my thing. But on the floor, like, so the play, so the play was for Austin Reeves to get the ball. Hopefully, it was if it was a catch and shoot opportunity. That's what you want. But get the ball, create a quick look for three, because we all know in the NBA nowadays, if you up three and the other team, they want to foul you. They don't
Yeah.
want to, I mean, yeah, they don't want to give you a chance to tie the game. So if anything, like you got Marcus Smart taking the ball out, you put in Maxi Kleber because Maxi Kleber can't do anything else since he's been on Lakers except set a mean pick. He'll set a mean pick, and he just set some mean picks for us throughout this season. And you got LeBron out there, so in case the Austin Reeves option don't work, you can get the ball to LeBron. LeBron can probably create a quick three. Same with Luke Kennard. And I mean, the only other person you could probably say take off the floor is probably Luke Kennard, who's
Yeah.
the best 3-point shooter, who had the best 3-point percentage in the league this year. So
Yeah,
I mean,
but
he wasn't cooking that game, but if you
like
would need
even
somebody to create a three just off the dribble three, all those are better options than Rui Hachimura. Like if you need somebody to
I
catch,
mean,
create a three.
now, I don't know about. Like I like Luke Kennard. Luke Kennard, yes, he's a super efficient 3-point shooter. I still trust in a situation like that. I would trust Rui Hachimura more. I
Like
would
to create a three.
he's been more consistent.
No.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he hasn't been shooting better. He has been shooting better. I'm just saying
And Kennard's not even much of a 3-point creator like that.
no, he's not.
Like
He's not.
he's
But
just yeah.
he's better than Rui. He's not
I don't
much of it at all.
I don't think so.
Dude, hold on. Let me show you this.
I think Rui's a better like pull-up shooter. Like when it comes to
what percentage Rui is shooting on pull-up shots in the
I don't know.
dang, I thought I saved it.
But I think I trust him more, just given like how he's played in these playoffs, how he's played in the playoffs throughout for his career, how he shot the ball in that game. He made a ridiculous shot in that game as well. I think just like there's more
On pull-up shots in the playoffs, Rui is shooting 35%. So a lot of it is been catch and shoot. Like his percentages. Like
What's
uh
Luke Kennard though?
Luke Kennard 53%.
Nah. What's the volume? I gotta see the volume
So
now.
yeah, so this is as of May 12th. This is today. Luke Kennard shot 31 pull-up shots. Rui has shot 37.
Hmm.
You know, Jamal Murray played 6 games. He shot 71 pull-up shots. It was great. He shot 35%. That's great.
35% is not terrible for a pull up three. But yeah, like
it's just pull-up shot. It's 3 and
yeah.
and
I guess I have to like I guess going off the eye test, it feels like Rui makes tougher shots. You
yeah,
know what it is? But
cuz
yeah.
like his I guess his the more the bulk of his shots come from like catch and shoot, or he'll do like the little post up, and then he'll shoot over the top of whoever the defender is, which he's a really good mid range shooter. He turned into a really really good 3-point shooter. Like is Cade shot 109 pull up shots, more than anybody, and he's at 51.4%. So that's just give you perspective. But I wasn't mad at the. If anything, I would you. I mean, I would be okay you saying take Kennard off, but the play wouldn't have went
Yeah.
any different.
Yeah,
I think
I wasn't mad at it, but like if I was the one, if I had to make the decision, I would probably have
yeah,
Rui in there over
how
Kennard
he
just
was,
because
I get it.
how he was playing, and also like sometimes the play gets blown up, and you got to force up something that's kind of like it's not the plan, but
Mhm.
maybe you just like, oh, you know what, they made a mistake. I can't get it to Austin here. Let me throw it to Rui, who's got a look.
Yeah,
And Rui might just be able to. I think Rui might just be able to hit some BS that's more likely to go than Luke. If it's like we gotta like force something up,
yeah,
or we gotta in real time. I gotta change the play. I gotta make an audible. Get the ball to Rui. Rui turns around or pulls the 3-point shot, and I think he's more likely to come through in that situation than a Kennard. Not saying Kennard can't do it, but I feel like I would trust Rui more there. But it's not a bad decision because Kennard is a very good 3-point shooter himself. So.
yeah. And I think if anything other than how that look went would have resulted in OKC fouling and putting the Lakers at the line. I feel like
Yeah,
the play
most
would have
definitely.
went the exact same. Maybe
Maybe they
Rui,
mess around and they now sometimes he's trying to do that. They mess around and they foul on the shot. That's a
yeah,
possibility too. But
yeah, facts.
yeah.
But regardless, Austin would have taken that shot. But yeah, you got anything you want to talk about specifically on this series?
Nah, I had Lakers in 3 and I was wrong. I'm playing.
Lakers, yeah,
I
you had Lakers in 3.
I had Thunder in 3 and I was wrong. It was Thunder in 4. No, I'm playing. I did think that I did change it. I was trolling a little bit, but I did think that it was going to be Thunder in 5, and there was a lot of games where it was right there for going into halftime. Like it was a competitive game, and then the Thunders have too much that for the Lakers to deal with. They have too many too many guys that can contribute off the bench when you're paying so much attention to SGA. And he's able to like you even told me like I think there was like in that game SGA left the game, they were down, right?
Yeah,
And
like
he came back.
at the end of the first, I believe the Lakers were up 5, and SGA played the whole first. SGA came back in with like 6 minutes left in the second, and OKC is up 8. Like I don't think the Lakers made a shot within like the first 6 or 7 minutes of the second quarter. Like it was crazy.
Yeah, and and we just didn't get much out of DeAndre Ayton, like compared to what he was doing against the Rockets. Just a huge disparity up front defensively. They were never really able to sustain a full 48 minutes, and I'm not really surprised. Like I think LeBron played well. He did what he was supposed to do. I think if you have Luka in that series, I think that it at least goes 6. But like that's gonna be they're gonna have a lot of conversations that they're gonna have to make going into the off season because you're gonna have to is LeBron's gonna come back or is he going to be moving on, or are y'all going to give Austin Reeves this max, this super max?
I don't think he
How
can
are y'all
get the
going?
super max.
What can he get? He can't get a super max. I thought he could.
I thought like super max is limited to like all
Oh, you're
NBA.
right. Oh yeah, yeah. So it would just be like a max. It would still be like what, like 200 and 200 million, something
Yeah.
like that. But I think that they're probably gonna have to give him that contract. Especially because there's reports now that I think Luka wants them to not trade him, right? I don't know if that report was accurate or not, but there were some reports that Luka specifically said he doesn't want Austin Reeves to be traded anywhere or something like that. And that was today. And so yeah, I think he wants them to build around them too. So they're gonna have to, see if they can get a quality defensive big. That's what they really need. They need like an elite rim protector more than anything. Obviously, you want to, keep Rui Hachimura because, he's continuing to grow and develop as a reliable playoff performer. But yeah, like they got to get better up front. And I still think that LeBron's going to come back to LA. I'm not ruling out him going somewhere else, but I don't think there's too many other places he would go.
So you don't think yesterday was the last game of LeBron's career?
Nah. Although, I mean, he gotta convince me that he's actually just gonna retire and walk off into the sunset without a single word of it beforehand. Like he said that. I think he said that he's not a farewell tour kind of guy or whatever, right? Something like that.
Yeah.
But I
Allegedly.
just don't. I don't believe it. I think that he wants to have that that whole extravagant
You want the glaze.
yeah, and like I don't even knock him for that. Like I mean, like you, LeBron James,
Yeah.
like of course, like I think that would be an amazing thing to do. Like you have your last game in this city, or in
No,
this
the ticket
arena.
sale is gonna be crazy. Like every arena probably gonna sell out.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy. And
LeBron
so
retirement tour.
yeah, I think that like it's something that he's gonna announce. We're gonna know before we see it. I don't think it's going to be a Duncan situation where this dude literally just like leaves the court and just goes to the islands for the rest of his life or something like that. Because Duncan just like he left it. I think he did come back and he joined the coaching staff, right, for the Spurs.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
he mostly has just been away from the game. I just don't see that for LeBron. I think that he loves to talk the game so much and analyze the game, and I think he'll really appreciate that. I guess kind of what Kobe had, like his own version of that. So even and it might not be in the same way of like, because I think the way he put it, he's framed it in like, I don't want to like be like where like, I'm leaving and I'm like on my last legs and I'm not really I'm not myself anymore. I'm not like a great player, or I'm not a contributor, and like I'm not a star. I'm just out here just playing just to be like, oh, this is my last season. I think like he could do a farewell tour and still be a good player, and it could be like a playoff situation, a season where he's like still on a team that's trying to win, and it just be his last season. I think he could do it that way, because I think the way that he was framing it was more like in the sense of like, oh, I'm not that guy anymore. I'm not even really good anymore, but I'm just having a farewell season. So I think that
Yeah. I think like because what I heard him say, he said he like LeBron, as we know, he's the only, I won't say the only player, but it's well documented how much he invests into uh his body and like dedication, like what he eats, like when he sleeps, all that, like into preparing to make deep playoff runs and preparing for the season. And he was saying it's all about the process for him. And if when he feels like that's something he's tired of, then that's when he'll probably give it up. Because I mean, LeBron's LeBron. Like he's not, of course, the LeBron that we all know, but he's still a star, also caliber player, which is
yeah,
insane.
he's
He's
in
in
what his 20 year 23. Look at his stats, and then look at the next guys in year 23.
look, man, LeBron trumps all their stats
Yeah.
combined.
Yeah, there is no number one, number two. It's literally LeBron, and then the slots are all just empty
Yeah, like
after that. So he's creating a whole new lane in history right now with what he's doing in
LeBron
his
was just
33rd
the
season.
best player in the first round of a playoff series, like which is crazy, like in which he won. So um, I want to see what he does. I low key want him to come back to the Lakers on like a. I don't know if he would do this.
A veteran minimum,
Maybe not a vet minimum, maybe like a mid level.
mid level, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know if LeBron do that. I just it's a weird thing. I don't.
Or LeBron land for one final ship for the
It really
Lakers.
be LeBron James Harden.
You know what, Lamar, you can go back for the repeat. You know what? Just like
So he want him to join the team that won a championship. Oh yeah, yeah. If that I don't need the Cavs to win the championship. I definitely don't need
no. Or you know what? Maybe you can go back. The Cavs go to the finals and they lose to the Thunder, and then you go back and you help put them over the top. It'd be a whole whole story. Like,
that'd be the KD situation.
hey, no, but nobody would look at it like that. LeBron would get all the glaze for that, and because he'd be joining a team that never won a championship, they lost in the finals, and he goes back there and they go and they win the championship, and he brings another one to the land. Whew. What a story! Then he would retire right there. Like, come on, you would love that. You almost would love that as much as the Lakers championship.
Nah, it'd be close, but nah.
Damn, it writes itself.
So next series. So another very interesting series. I'm glad, like we got two sweeps, but I'm glad we got two very interesting series.
Timberwolves,
Spurs.
Spurs.
One of them is the Wolves and Spurs. After game one, the Spurs kind of like controlled the series. They routed them in game two, if I'm not mistaken, and then game three, which is a really good game, but Wembanyama had one of the most impressive playoff games, that you can watch. I mean, he had like 30 something points, 15 rebounds, 5 blocks, and he was amazing in clutch time, like step back threes, fadeaway shots. The defense, of course, as always, was amazing, and he was a beast. And I'm thinking at this point, especially with the ant injury and Ayodo Sumo, like he's still kind of banged up. All the injuries Minnesota got. Spurs probably about to take game 4 and then close them out. Like it's gonna be pretty quick, especially how game 2 and game 3 went. And then things change. Because the Wolves has been really physical with Wembanyama, as they should. I think that's the current recipe on Wembanyama, is to beat him up, be physical with him, and Wemby, literally speaking, fought back. It was a play. I guess they was kind of like Wemby got the rebound and they was trying to take the ball from him. Wemby got tired of it and he hit him with the Meta World Peace elbow. The people's
Here's
elbow.
the thing for me, and it was a surprising elbow. I didn't expect him to do that. I would say two things. If he wasn't 7'4", that elbow would have hit him in the chest, and they wouldn't even toss him. if he was like 6'11" or something, the elbow probably would have hit him right in the chest, and then he probably would have just got a flagrant one. But I think because of where the elbow landed and how Nars Reed fell, like I think that it's if it was, even watching it live, I still didn't think they were going to toss him because it was Wemby. I thought they would give him a flagrant one, but if it was anybody else, I do think that they would have tossed him, and they did treat him like he was anybody that did that elbow. So I think that was surprisingly fair from the refs. I stand on the position though. I don't think he should have got suspended, and I'm glad he didn't. I don't think he should have got fined because I don't think this is something that's like. I think when you see players get fined or suspensions for stuff like this, it's a history. We don't just see guys just do these things one time and it's like, oh, we suspended you. We find you know, it's like you have done multiple things where you've gotten multiple flagrants. You have a history of being dirty, doing like crossing the line. This is not your first rodeo. This is like we've never seen Wemby do something like this before. And it was somewhat of a retaliation of the Minnesota Timberwolves kind of getting away with a lot of
Yeah.
being really handsy, like grabbing, pulling his jersey. They pull his jersey all the time. Like I talk about, like I look at like when I talk about look at the Pistons, Isaiah Stewart, top tier jersey puller. This man be pulling jerseys like crazy. The way that the Timberwolves are guarding the Spurs, they're guarding him like they five Isaiah Stewarts out there. Like they literally just like they pulling him, they grabbing his arms, they pulling him every way. They pushing him on the floor after a play. They constantly are being really physical, and he hasn't really been doing that himself. He's just been getting up and just playing ball. But then that play, if you watch, Naz Reid is like grabbing him on his leg, and you see like Jaden McDaniels is pulling his jersey, and then he's pulling his arm, and then he's squeezing his forearm, and then you could tell it's almost like his reaction almost was like, I don't even know if he was trying to throw the elbow in his neck like that, or to close to his face or his chin or wherever. It hit like kind of lower neck chin. I don't know if he was trying to hit him there. I think he would just. It was more like they holding me here, he holding me there, and he was kind of like just get the hell off me type of thing, you know. And he was like, he just looked, and he's like, he threw the elbow, and it connected, and now he's out. I do think that it was intentional, the elbow, but I don't think it was like a premeditated kind of thing. I don't think it was like I'm about to go and try and just knock this dude out or throw an elbow. It was like, man, like y'all just fouling me. They ain't calling it right now. Just get off me, and I'm clearing space, and like it's kind of like an old school thing. Like in the 90s, a lot of times, like we used to see like Dikembe Mutombo, even in the 2000s, Dikembe Mutombo would get a rebound, and dudes were trying to grab it, so he'd be like,
yeah,
he'd be going like that. It kind of reminded me like
that's kind of how they teach you, like fundamental like rebounding. You get it, you grab it with two hands.
Yeah, you're out. Yeah,
but you don't launch it like that. But
no, but Mutombo would be doing it like that. Yeah. He'd be like, nah. He's like, hey, y'all want to try and get it? And they wouldn't call no flagrants on that at all. They started calling flagrants on it probably like the past 10 years or so. They started calling flagrants and stuff like that. But they used to kind of let guys clear space a little bit with that. But then it became like egregious. But yeah, I don't think that he's a dirty player, and it was something that was. I don't even really think it was a dirty play, but I do think that it was worthy of a flagrant too, because you can't like hit somebody with an elbow like that. But I'm glad it's nothing. I'm glad it's not like altering the series like further and going to be a suspension or anything like that. And I don't think it's even comparable.
When Draymond stepped on Sabonis and then pushed off him.
And Sabonis, I mean, not Sabonis. Draymond was trying to. You saw what he was saying, right? You saw some of his comments. He was trying to make it seem like this that the Timberwolves should be super upset, and like Wemby deserves to be suspended and fined. And he's like,
Draymond, look in the mirror, dude.
Yeah,
look in the mirror, dude.
Yeah, his whole argument.
You didn't get suspended because of what you did to Sabonis. You got suspended because of what you did to Sabonis and Steven Adams and LeBron James and countless other James Harden.
Yeah, who did you do it to this? It was somebody on the Suns that like he did something to. Who was on the Suns?
Nurkic. He freaking punched Nurkic in the face, choked out Rudy Gobert.
Yes. So like, yeah, he was trying to make it seem like it was clearly him like making it about himself.
Yeah,
because that's the only reason why. Like, there's no reason why Wemby would deserve a suspension. Unless he had a history like you did. He was almost trying to take it like, oh, like if it was me, I would have got this. I would have got suspended. Well, yeah,
and it would have been deserved.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, I'm glad they didn't do that. And the only thing that I'm like really, really looking at with that series is because Ant actually played really well in that game. He played really well down the stretch. Like, I don't know how he's been managing to like play with basically two bad knees.
Like that one play, I think he had got trapped and then he called a timeout. He ended up like on the floor, and then his teammates was helping him up, and then they showed like a close up of like how his knee looked, and like of course he had like some like compression pants on it, but you can tell it was like severely wrapped up, and I'm like, man, because I haven't even like last playoffs, it felt like every game Edwards had like a poster dunk or something, like a
Oh
breakaway
yeah,
dunk or something like that. I don't even know if I've seen him dunk.
he hasn't been trying
Like,
to dunk whatsoever. He just been laying it up, and he's been in like third gear. He's been just like going like
and
jogging.
it's still like pretty fast, like pretty
Yeah,
explosive.
that
But
shows you
but
how the
yeah,
level of that this shows you the level. This series shows you the level of athlete that Anthony Edwards is in the
yeah,
league, because this dude is clearly like not going full anything, and he's been effective. Like he's not trying to like run that fast. He's really jogging and taking his time on both sides of the ball, and he's still being able to get buckets. He's still been able to have an impact in big time situations. That I got to tip my cap to Anthony Edwards,
mhm,
because what I'm seeing is one of the better, like quote unquote, like just like durable Iron Man type of performance. Like you playing through injuries that most guys not only would not play through, but if they were playing through it, they would not be anywhere close to this
yeah,
effective. And so, yeah,
yeah,
that's impressive. I don't even know. I don't know if they're gonna be able to how much he's gonna be able to keep it up, but I'm still hoping that he just doesn't have any further injuries. Take it easy, man. Take it easy. Don't stay in third gear, because what's gonna happen? What will happen is that gets you hurt is that when you try and be like
yeah.
max effort Anthony Edwards that you've been in past seasons,
Mm-hmm.
and that could come back and bite you. And I really don't want to see that. So right now there hasn't been
Gotta,
no crazy season ending type of injuries in these playoffs, and I don't want to see anything like that going forward. Like it's been like people that are had injuries that are like they've dealt with going into the playoffs, they weren't able to play, but there hasn't been nothing that's like altering somebody's career type injuries. I really want to stay on that side, and I want like that to happen. So
facts.
because we had like three of
You
those
got to,
last year. So yeah.
yeah. It was
Oh yeah.
Dame, Tyrese, and Tatum. All Achilles. Well, DiVincenzo.
Oh Lord, I forgot about
Yeah,
DiVincenzo.
yeah,
Damn. You're
DiVincenzo.
right.
Yeah, yeah. I think about it. Yeah,
Mm.
DiVincenzo. You know what's common about all four of the injuries? Tatum, Halliburton, Dame, DiVincenzo. They all wear number 0.
Yep.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not, I'm not wearing that number. I'll change my number right now. Right now. That's kind of crazy. You got a prediction for Game 5 this series? Game 5 starts in about 30 minutes. Got me some wings. I'm gonna
Mm.
go warm up.
I think that this game's going to determine the series most likely, as it usually is in a 2-2 series. I think Wembanyama coming back, I think he's going to have a huge impact. I think he's going to be trying to force the issue, and I do think Spurs win this game. I think it's going to be probably close in the first half, and I think the Spurs are going to pull away. Um, I think that also like De'Aaron Fox had a really bad second half their last game. I think he's going to also bounce back. Um, but yeah, I think that the Spurs are going to take back control of the series, and then we'll see going back into. I don't know if even as big as has been down the stretch of some of these games, I don't know how much he can keep up that level of play with all that he's
Yeah,
dealing with. And so yeah, I'm definitely gonna. I said Spurs is 6 going into this series, so
yeah,
I think it's still gonna be Spurs.
yeah. I got the Spurs also in this Game 5. I saw like Wembanyama's reaction after getting kicked out the game. By the way, Wembanyama, you know he was gonna kick out the game. I don't know why you asked Harrison Barnes like, oh, what does that mean? You know what a flagrant 2 mean. Hit the road, Jack. But anyways, when he was leaving, he was just his demeanor and his like the way he was kind of like acting with his teammates, and I think he gonna try to come kill like in Game 7, no, in Game 5 tonight. Like I think he gonna try to like dominate. Like it's gonna be Game 3, Pro Max Wembanyama tonight.
Yeah, for
um,
me, for like the Timberwolves to have a chance tonight, they need to get something out of Julius Randle. He's
yeah,
been
for sure.
super inconsistent. Has like he had a couple moments late in that game, like as far as like playmaking, penetrating, and getting some good passes,
Mhm.
drop offs here and there. But he's been so bad.
Yeah, the
And
mean
he
dunk
have
on Wemby in Game 3 though.
yeah, but like his
That was
but
crazy.
overall, like he has to have a good game for them tonight. And if they can get Jaden McDaniels to start hitting some shots again, because he's been struggling a little bit, he's been playing really good defensively. But if he can start to get that three ball going and make a few more of those little mid range jumpers that he got, then they have a chance. But I don't like what I've been seeing from Julius Randle, so I don't know how he's going to play tonight, especially on the road where he struggled more. So yeah, I'm leaning definitely Spurs, but those are the guys to watch for the
I
Timberwolves right
think
there.
one interesting thing about the Spurs is this guard dynamic, because a lot of people they look at De'Aaron Fox and they saying the dynasty starts after you. And you got this guy I'm overly fond of, and Harper, who's just you can the future stardom in him. His feel for the game, the way he can get to the basket, he can play make. He was really good for them in game 4. He almost like kind of like brought them back with his defense and his playmaking and everything, like he was able to do. And I just want to know, like beyond this season, if you're with the Spurs organization, with the coaching staff, when do you make that move? Like when does it go? Like let's say they do win the championship this year, or let's say they don't. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Win the championship, don't. When do you make that move? For to put Dylan Harper as your guy, because you drafted him.
I think if you win the
Number 2
championship, you stay pat. You keep rolling with De'Aaron Fox and have him come off the bench, because the way I look at it is you'll be more likely to be able to extend him on a better deal if you have him coming off the bench and he's not that guy yet. That next contract will be in your favor when you try and re-up him in the future, and so you could make it easier to build around the team going forward and add in more guys. If you lose, depending on how you lose and depending on how De'Aaron Fox plays, like if you lose in the conference finals and De'Aaron Fox is just terrible against the Thunder, I would package him in a deal for a trade and try and improve. Um, Either get another wing, but I would look at possibly trading him and getting off that contract, and then going full head steam with starting Dylan Harper. But if y'all get to the finals and y'all lose and Fox is playing well, I'd run it back. I'd run it back with him and just let him continue to just play off the bench, continue to get better, develop, and I don't think that's going to be any negative towards him. I think that'll only be positive. He'll still be able to get playoff experience, and then maybe you do go back and maybe you are able to get back to the finals again and win it with De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox is still a very good player, and there's still a lot of value there. If he plays great and you lose, or you have a chance to upgrade in a deal, I think that only builds his value. Is keeping him on that team. So I wouldn't move him unless they lose early. Like if they make it to the finals, and he's a part of the reason why they lose. But yeah, so I think it depends on going forward. If they get out of the series and how that OKC series goes and how De'Aaron Fox performs, will let you know whether or not you want to, stay on him or get off him. But I think that's what's going to determine it, because he's going to get tested in that series. Like, okay, he's going to throw a lot of guys his way, and so if he's able to play it at a high level, then yeah, I would stick around. I would stick with him. Yeah.
Yeah, agree. I just think I don't know, because I mean he's a veteran, and you don't want to just get off that too soon. But his contract is crazy, and I'm a huge believer in Dylan Harper. I think he's gonna be the number 2 right after Wemby. Like not even Stephen Castle. I think it's gonna be Harper. Like that's how cold I think he is
Yeah, I
and
agree.
will be. Yeah. So yeah, I mean we touched on all the series. Drew, you got anything you want to say before we wrap this up? Pause.
Nah,
Crazy.
but I do hope that believe it or not, I do actually hope this isn't LeBron's last season. So I do hope that he's back. I don't know if it's going to be back as a Laker, but I just want to see I do want to see him still push the limits, because I don't think he's the GOAT. I will always stand on it. I do not think LeBron's the GOAT, but I do think he's the GOAT professional athlete. I'll give him that. I
What?
think he's the GOAT professional athlete, but he is not the GOAT basketball player.
What? He not
Yes.
the goat.
Yes.
He not the he's not the goat of basketball, but he's the goat of all sports.
No, no, no. He's the GOAT professional athlete. All right. There's a
Isn't
specific meaning to this, all right? Because it's it's all encompassing. It's talking about like his ability as an athlete, like his ability to have longevity, to be able to play at this level at this age, to be able to be so
okay?
durable for so many years and still be like this dude is still playing above the rim at over 40 years old. Like he's still getting poster dunks at over 40 years. He's having crazy transition plays.
Yeah.
That guys that are like 30 years old aren't doing in the league. That's insane. Right? Like we've never seen an athlete like this before. And I'm talking about specifically athleticism. We have never seen this type of athlete. Like I don't, when I'm talking about athlete, I'm not talking about just like you play a sport for a living. I'm talking about specifically what athleticism means. There has never been a greater athlete. And I'm talking an athletic player, athlete, talent we've never seen. His speed, quickness, elevation, strength, power at all ages of his career 20, 30, 40. We've never seen this before.
Yeah.
So that
Shout out
that's
to LeBron.
fair.
Man, don't retire. Don't ever retire. But I would say this, like I would like to see LeBron like farewell tour. Of course, LeBron he's been my favorite player like majority of my life watching basketball. But I would be okay with LeBron retiring, honestly. Like personally, just because like I appreciated his game throughout his career. I appreciate the improvement he's made throughout his career. I thought him losing to the Mavericks was probably one of the best things that's happened to him throughout his career because he didn't take like a lot of moments like for granted. Like yeah, I mean it was bad in terms of like if you compare him to another player, but I think it allowed him to reach a level of like of dedication and just like taking his game to another level. And it's been amazing. Like so, shout out to LeBron. If this is in your career, you the goat. My eyes, you the best. You the boat. You the goat. And
Hey, and
yeah,
if it
and
is, you did get to see him have an iconic moment
yeah,
live.
it was great to
So
see one of the
uh,
last LeBron great playoff moments live, which is insane. So,
like
um,
it pains me to say, but that's probably gonna be something that like when they doing his little Hall of Fame ceremony, speech,
yeah,
introduction, when they do that video, I'm almost certain they're gonna put that game. They gonna clip that game in there. They gonna clip that game because he's playing with Bronny and he's winning a playoff game with his son. And like that was the pivotal game in that series where they pretty much like that ended the series pretty much. I think
yeah.
that's gonna be in
Family,
there. So
son, stole the ball, hit the three. Yeah.
yeah. So in about what 15 years when LeBron's retired, we gonna see that that Hall of Fame that
Oh
Hall of
yeah,
Fame ceremony.
yeah. LeBron. No, LeBron go. He'll probably go like 15 more years. Then he'll retire.
Yeah, like
I
when
think.
you the age that LeBron is right now, that's when LeBron gonna retire. That's what you're gonna be watching.
All right. Well, we about to lock in on this game 5, Spurs and Timberwolves. Appreciate everybody for watching the episode. Make sure y'all follow us on Instagram. Make sure y'all like the video, like our content on Instagram. Um, but yeah, peace out, everybody.